All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Cinco de Mayo Hangover Edition here, Monday, May 6th, bringing you the winners for the 6-game slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. One note, the slate did get bumped up 30 minutes, 35 minutes roughly with that Kansas City and Milwaukee game, getting bumped up to hopefully get it in before those storms approach on the back half of that game. Obviously, that's a big game. We're going to talk about Cole Ragans. We're going to talk about the Royals bats. Pretty good spot here in Kauffman Stadium. So the slate is been moved up on DraftKings 35 minutes or so. 6:05 Central Time start time now instead of the 6:40 start time, I believe, or 7:40 Eastern time. So do pay attention to that. Obviously, you'll see it on the top of the screen when you open your DraftKings app, but did want to note that off the top. How much? Happy Monday, man. How was your weekend? Bring you in right away. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, go collect ham. Definitely on Reagan tonight. Hey, we'll see. You got to stick around and see. But yeah, weekend was good. It rained here. And Cinco de Mayo last night. We had some tacos and celebrated, with our friends down south. And yeah, looking forward to tonight. Got a little 6-gamer. Got some good pitching. Got some good hitting. Hopefully we get a shipper over here at the Nation.
Hopefully we get a shipper over here at the Nation. We've been good over here, and got to announce it here. You're all invited here in the chat. Everybody else out there watching on playback, the Nation over here. We're turning one. The little rocket ship candle. Can't beat it. I mean, the marketing over here is absolutely electric from the crew. These graphics are on point. May 15th, 2024, SHIPIT Nation is officially turning one-year anniversary there. And this is big news. It's the last chance to get 15% off. These codes will be going away. We've had quite a bit of them. Hoop 15. We've had Shiptimizer code with the Millie 15. Get you 15% off. Use that code BDAY15. Get you 15% off for life. Get you locked in. And the most important thing is the 6-month and the annual packages are going up in price. The 6-month package is going from $359.99 to $389 total. And then the annual is going up $100 from $599 to $699. The biggest factor here is the annual package. You get it now using that promo code, drops it to $509 total package for everything, all access. Basically brings it down to $42 a month. Can't beat it right now in the industry. A lot of companies out there, a lot of other sites. There's many out there that you can go to. They're charging $600 roughly for one sport, typically is what the industry standard is right now. We'll have a nice birthday party on the 15th there, but you can still use that promo code now. BDA15 gets you in 15% off for life if you are not a member yet. Really suggest going to that annual package. Your best bang for your buck takes it down to $42 a month. You can't beat that. And if you want to just do the 6-month package, takes it down a little over $50 there roughly per month. Can't beat it. Best rate in the industry there. But how much? Let's go ahead and jump right in here. Say hi to a couple guys in the chat first. Go collect in here. Razor Sharp, Greg's, Jake Swales, everybody in the building. How much? We're going to talk pitching, and it is a pretty clear-cut pitching slate for me, at least how it looks. We're going to go 8K and above, and I want to throw out 2 guys in particular. Luis Castillo, Cole Ragans for sure. But another guy that's going to contest them for ownership is Walker Buehler. Long awaited, long alluded to, return off the IL, pitch in there, late night game against these fish out of the water. Walker Buehler making his first start in 2.5 years roughly. Hasn't seen a major league start since 2021. Walker Buehler up there at the top at $9,300, $300 off of Castillo. Talk about those 3 in particular, and then talk about Yu Darvish and Justin Steele, who both get a nice boost there. Pitching in Chicago, about 59 degrees, 60 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight in for center is a good boost for the pitchers in that game. But both those offenses have been pretty decent in Chicago and San Diego. Don't strike out a ton. So up at the top end, I think there's a lot of interesting pitchers up here. Obviously, you got the clear-cut chalk in Castillo and Ragans, but break it down. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, limited pitching tonight. Obviously, 12 pitchers to choose from. Let's just start at the top. Luis Castillo, in my opinion, has the best matchup on the slate. He'll be SP1 for me, taking on this Twins team who was red hot and got silenced pretty much yesterday against that Red Sox. Their win streak came to an end. I mean, Luis Castillo has just been absolutely dynamite all season long, limiting power to both sides of the plate. Really dominates right-handed hitters. He's only going to see 3 right-handed hitters, and I see 6 left-handed hitters projected in the Twins lineup. Gives up some barrels to the left-handed side of the plate. So, hey, if you wanted to get, tricky, I wouldn't hate some Twins leverage stack. But for me, it's Luis Castillo. He's SP1 far and away for me. 2 for me would be Cole Ragans taking on this Milwaukee team. Cole Ragans been absolutely dealing. The last couple starts was up north of the border in Toronto. Last time, I think he had 8 or 9 strikeouts. So Cole Ragans would be second on my list. And then let's talk about, those 3, Walker Buehler and Justin Steele, both making their return. I mean, Justin Steele pitched earlier this year. Walker Buehler first start in over 2 years. I'm not so much concerned for his pitch count as, some people may be. And I looked at your slate plan. You have it in there as well. He's thrown, 80-plus pitches in one game, 75 in another. So I think the pitches are going to be there, and I think he can make light work of this Marlins team who's thrown in the towel, traded away their best hitter. I think there's strikeouts galore in there. I really like Walker Buehler tonight just because I think he'll throw 80 pitches. I think he can get 6 to 8 strikeouts in those 80 pitches, and I definitely think he'll limit the damage. And then Justin Steele and Yu Darvish, you said the weather in there. I'm not interested in either one of them, and I'll talk about the teams that I'm interested in stacking when we get there. But no Justin Steele or Yu Darvish for me. It's going to be those 3 at the top: Luis Castillo, Cole Ragans, and Walker Buehler.
Well, man, we might want to mark this down, take a picture, post it on that wall behind you, add a 4th picture up there behind your backdrop, because we're aligning on pitcher tonight, and I don't know if that's scary or good. I've been winning money and winning bets against Hamwich here, keep the undefeated streak alive, but it's hard to take a loss, at least for Hamwich here, when we agree on the same pitchers here. So I do SP1 for me is Castillo. SP1 for everybody here is Castillo. Against this Twins lineup here, Castillo's gone 95 pitches at least in all of the last 6 starts that he's shown. He's going to limit the damage. These Mariners here, I like this spot for Castillo quite a bit here. 9,600, just too cheap. He should be 11K, 11.5 on this slate in this matchup, and you're getting about a $2,000 discount here with Castillo. Love him. Don't care about the ownership here. I'm going to be pretty chalky from the pitcher standpoint. That's why I like a little bit bats, some leverage bats that we're going to talk about to get a little bit different. But for pitching for me, my SP1 is Castillo. My SP2 is Cole Ragans. That's a chalk route to go, but it's hard to ignore here. Cole Ragans, love the spot for him at home here against these Brewers. The back half of that Brewers lineup struggles a lot. Obviously, they're a young, talented team. They're going to be good. In my opinion, it's not a homer take. They've showed it, right? They've been pretty hot to start the season. A lot of young kids, but a lot of young lefties in there, and those lefties struggle with power. Cole Ragans, I think, can keep the ball in the park, can pick up some strikeouts throughout that lineup. Really love Cole Ragans here. He's looked absolutely elite all season long. Really like him. And then I do have some interest in Walker Buehler, but it's hard for me to pay the 9,300 with his 30 to 40% ownership. I mean, he's going to be just as owned as Cole Ragans and Castillo. And I'd much rather if Walker Buehler, it's not like you're getting a discount, at least from what I'm seeing right now on his ownership. If he's going to be that owned, I'd much rather just save the salary drop down to Cole Ragans. So for me, really, it's Luis Castillo because Cole Ragans up at the top. I have no interest in Justin Steele, Yu Darvish. I'm not playing Yu Darvish, not playing Justin Steele, either one of those guys. So if I had to pick a third pitcher on the slate, it would be Walker Buehler up at the top end. But for me, it's really Cole Ragans and Luis Castillo far and away better than everybody else. So not looking to go to those other guys. Dropping down below 8K. Want to throw out one guy for you, Andrew Heaney, the kind of de facto SP2 if you can't afford the Castillo Ragans or the Castillo Buehler, Ragans Buehler, one of those 3, pair 2 of those 3 together. Everyone's dropping down all the way down to Andrew Heaney at 6,600. Gets this matchup in Oakland, pitcher's ballpark there against these Oakland Athletics. Hey, who have been hitting the baseball, just coming off 20 runs yesterday on that Sunday there. Played them. They made me some money on that early slate yesterday or Saturday, right? Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. Yeah, I get my days all mixed up. But coming off a big 20-run game there, Andrew Heaney, man, it's hard to say that Mr. Andrew Heaney himself is going to be 30+% owned on this slate with only 6 games here. So I do want you to talk about him. And then anyone else that you have interest in down here. I kind of like Woods Richardson a little bit as a direct pivot right off Andrew Heaney for $400 more expensive. Gets a great matchup there. We already like Castillo on the other end. Should boost Woods Richardson to want to go out there and play good baseball, right? Pitch the ball pretty well. I like pairing pitchers together a lot in GPPs. He ranks really well for us. So talk about him as a pivot off of Andrew Heaney, and then anyone down at the lower tier that you have any interest in.
Yeah, let's touch on Heaney. I mean, you said it. I mean, he's going to be the clear-cut chalk going into Oakland. You get the ballpark upgrade. You get the the A's, who for the most part have been bad all season long. I definitely think that you can get a pivot or two off of him. I don't mind several of these guys down there. Yeah, Woods Richardson. Let me get this cat out here. Yeah, Wood Richardson. I certainly don't mind. I don't even mind. If you're not playing Dodgers, going Munoz. Munoz has been absolutely lights out so far to start this season. Obviously, he's got a tough task against them. They just beat up the Braves, swept the Braves. Now they got the lowly Marlins coming in. Hey, Munoz to me might not be the if you're going the ultimate GPP route, I don't think Munoz is the worst spot. We saw what Garrett Crochet did against the Cardinals yesterday, another southpaw. Now you get Shaman Nair, who's had much more success than Crochet has. He's not the worst play going up against that Cardinals team. You get a ballpark upgrade. They've been bad offensively all season long. I don't think I'll get to Kyle Gibson. He just doesn't have the strikeout upside, in my opinion. But, hey, once again, small slate, 12 pitchers to choose from. If you wanted to pair him with one of those, you would definitely be different. But my favorite of the bunch would be Woods Richardson. I'm with you there. Just going up against this Mariners team that we know strikes out at an alarming rate, especially against right-handed pitching, would be my favorite down there, and a direct pivot off of Heaney.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I have very little interest in Andrew Heaney, to be honest with you. Looking at this Oakland Park, I get it, right? It is a good pitcher's ballpark here, but Andrew Heaney, man, I like him much better at home. This Oakland lineup, especially with Esteury Ruiz up at the top, I mean, these top 5 hitters absolutely smash left-handed pitching here. J.D. Davis, Rooker's been on fire. Tyler Nevin's been on fire. Toro's been good. Esteury Ruiz has been good. Hell, Shea Langeliers hit a big 3-run Jimmy Jack on Saturday, right, in route to that 20 runs there. So, I mean, these top 6, Max Schumann, even a young prospect there for Oakland, has been playing good baseball as well. So I'm going to be out on Andrew Heaney. And like I said, I like Woods Richardson enough. It is still a scary spot, right? Woods Richardson has some control issues and has not been super, super good, but as a pivot directly, I mean, he's sub 10% owned on Woods Richardson against the Seattle lineup, who's littered with strikeouts throughout this lineup, right? Looking at the lineup, this projected lineup strikes out at 27% rate against right-handed pitching so far this season on the road here with a team ISO under 150. So I think Woods Richardson can limit the damage, get out there, and I like Woods Richardson to outscore Andrew Heaney here tonight. And then I do want to mention Munoz there with you. This is the ultimate GPP play because the Dodgers, when we talk about bats, the Dodgers are clear-cut offense number 1 that everyone wants to go to. But if you look at this Dodgers lineup, especially on the back half, Hernandez, Muncy, Pages, they all strike out over 30% at home so far in Dodger Stadium here against right-handed pitching. Munoz has looked really good. He does give up a lot of barrels, a lot of hard contact, which is pretty scary when you're facing the guys of like Ohtani, like Freddie Freeman, like Mookie Betts. So really like those lefties there for the Dodgers. But when you're talking about the chalkiest offense here against a pitcher who's been pretty solid, if you want a little double leverage situation at 7,200 on a short slate, that's one way to get totally different. I probably can't get to it in my 2 teams that I'm building, but in MME, I definitely wouldn't hate having some shares of Roderick Munoz. Not going to take much to get over the field on him. But kind of summarizing pitcher for me, it's Castillo, it's Ragans, and then it's Woods Richardson. Those are the 3 guys I'm kind of going in on. I get the reasonings. People want to play Andrew Heaney. I'm just looking elsewhere to get different there. And then if I had to pick a 4th, it would be Walker Buehler, just due to the matchup alone with Miami. Just not really scared of this Miami team at all. Buehler did 2 rehab starts, threw a decent amount of pitches. He hasn't gone past the 5th inning, but I think if he gets you 5-6 innings here against these Miami Marlins, and should have the run support behind him. I think he can do enough there, but really like those other three pitchers that I mentioned first. Hamich, go ahead and give your pitcher summary before we go game by game here.
Yeah, number one, I'm with you. Luis Castillo, 2 for me. Cole Reagans, Walker Buehler is a close third there. And then, then I would say Wood Richardson's 4. And then I'm with you. The ultimate GPP play, if you're down and need a pivot, Roddery Munoz has the K upside, right? That's what we're looking for. We want Ks, we want wins. I think he can do it against this Dodgers team. Definitely just a GPP, dart throw.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Let's go ahead and jump over game by game, talk hitters. Before you do, if you guys are just tuning in, showed it off the top, going to show it again here. May 15th, about 10 days or so, 9 days exactly. SHIPIT Nation, the nation over here, is turning 1. As you see that rocket ship for the candle there, what gets better than a rocket ship candle lifting off into the second year here? Use that promo code BDA15, get you 15% off any package you do choose for life. I highly suggest the annual package. Right now, it drops the annual rate of $5.99 down to $5.09. Comes out to $42 a month for all access. That will go up to $6.99 after May 15th. The prices are going up on the 6-month and the annual package. So you save a lot of money right now if you do get in, gets locked in. Obviously, we got the Shiptimizer as well, which we announced a couple times there. Get you access to that for the time being for free for all members to get a nice trial, get your feedback, make the tweaks that we can before we release it out, which will be a paid service even for current members. But at least you get in now, get a nice optimizer to play around with. Right now, for the time being, free for current members, which will obviously be a charged service, but we're looking to keep it right around $100 a month for all access for all of our content, all sports, and an optimizer. Can't beat it right now in the industry. So one last time, BDA15 gets you 15% off any package right now. Highly suggest joining the annual package. Takes it down to $509 one-time payment. Break it down across the 12 months, $42 a month. Can't beat it right now. Best rate in the industry. Hamich, we're going to talk about the game that got moved up to 7:10 Eastern time, 6:10 Central time here. It's the Milwaukee Brewers heading into Kansas City to face Cole Reagans. Bryce Wilson on the mound for Milwaukee, who's looked pretty solid this year, but man, it's another day ending in Y for me here. These Royals have won me a lot of money this season, and I'm right back on the well tonight with Kansas City. Royals, my favorite stack of the board. Confirmed lineup in here. MJ Melendez, Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt. Starting with those 3 guys, building around those. I love the Royals here against Bryce Wilson in Kauffman Stadium. Talk to me on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. No Brewers for me, as I have a ton of interest in Reagans, and I'm with you right there with you on the Royals. Really like them tonight. Like Hunter Renfroe, he's batting 6th tonight, normally batting 8th. So I think he gets a boost. And then those lefties, Bryce Wilson giving up almost a 19% barrel rate to lefties. Yeah, let's lock and load on your boy Vinny P. MJ Melendez throwing Hunter Renfroe. I think we got us a recipe tonight for a shipper, Nades. Give me the Royals. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love the Royals. 1 through 9 are firmly in play against Bryce Wilson right now. For me, like the whole lineup, littered with power and speed. Alluded to it all the time on these shows. Another day ending in Y for me. I'm going right back to the Kansas City well. I love them here tonight. And then no real interest in these Brewers bats. If I were to pick one, maybe a Gary Sanchez if he's in there off the IR, just as a cheap catcher with power. He smashes left-handed hitting or left-handed pitching. But outside of him, really, I don't have a ton of interest. William Contreras maybe, but at 5,700, just don't really see the need. I like some other sneaky offenses that we're going to talk about. So Brewers are one that I'm okay fading here and not get into any Milwaukee Brewers bats here. Love Cole Reagans, my second favorite pitcher on the slate. Let's head into Wrigley here. Wind game in Wrigley, about 60 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing in the entire duration of the game, straight in from center field. Yu Darvish, Justin Steele on the mound. Justin Steele is coming back off the IR, making his first start here. Yu Darvish, we know what happens with Yu Darvish. His numbers haven't been great this season, right around a 21% K rate. Could get hit around, but for me in this game, it's a game that I'm really just not interested in bats. I like other bats on the slate. Don't think you need to force this game in here, but maybe you see something I'm missing here in Wrigley. Where are you going?
Yeah, I don't know about the full stack, but I think I want to pick off some pieces, especially the righties. I mean, doesn't miss right-handed bats. Less than 10% of right-handed bats he's missing. Give me some Nico Warner if he's at the top of the lineup. Don't mind him. He has double upside. He has steal upside, so don't mind Nico Warner batting off for any right-hander that's up there near the top of the lineup. Dansby, Morrell, there should be top 6. So definitely don't mind those guys. And then Justin Steele, it's his first game back off the IL. He threw one game in AAA. And, man, this Padres team, they did work. They got Luis Arraez up there in the top of the lineup, and they went to work this weekend in Arizona. Hey, those right-handed bats, we may not get the bombs that we're used to, but I think they can get to Justin Steele tonight. I think the Padres are a sneaky stack. I think Arraez has made them a lot better just with his presence in there. The guy just doesn't strike out. So, yeah, give me those righties. It's what I prefer going up against the lefty, and we'll play some small ball tonight in the Windy City.
Yeah, I don't think Manny Machado. I mean, I think you can play Manny any slate he's on. He smashes left-handed pitching there. So him having a nice price point at 4,800, I don't hate. And then for the Cubs on me, I would focus on these lefties. Looking at Darvish's splits here, especially over the last 30 days, sub 20% strikeout rate to lefties, an ISO right around 150, and a fly ball rate approaching 50%. And then looking at these Cubs hitters, I like some of these fly ball lefties here. Michael Busch, I like a lot. Crow Armstrong is a cheap guy there. I like him a ton. Ian Happ, Mike Tauchman. I like some of these lefties. If I'm going to these Cubs as kind of a mini stack, my two favorite guys would be number 1, Michael Busch, and then number 2, Pete Crow Armstrong at 3,500. Crow Armstrong could swipe a bag or two as well at a nice 3,500 mid-tier outfield position there. So lefties for the Cubs. Machado, I think, is a solid one-off. Obviously, you can play Tatis, obviously, any slate. So those two guys for me. But in terms of stacks, I would prefer stacking the Cubs side, preferably the lefties more as a mini stack. I don't think I get to a 5-man stack of either one of these offenses here tonight. Let's jump into the next game here. It's the New York Mets. It's the Cardinals. Kyle Gibson on the hill. Sean Manaea. I think you could stack up both sides of this game here. I think both offenses pick up a little interest in terms of stacking. These Cardinals have looked pretty brutal all year long, but Cardinals, Wilson Contreras gets this lefty here, followed by Goldschmidt, followed by Arenado, 3 lefty mashers there, and they get a subpar lefty here in Sean Manaea, in my opinion. Any interest in this game from a bats perspective, the Mets or the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. I mean, the Cardinals, obviously, best hitters are from the right-handed side. Manaea is not very good and giving up about an 8% barrel rate to righties. I wouldn't mind a little mini stack, a little 3-man mini stack of the Cardinals. It would be just those that you alluded to. It would only be those right-handed hitters. And then no Mets for me. Probably won't get above a mini on this game just because both of these bullpens are very good as well. So I think there's other spots to choose from. This one will be one that I'm lower on than maybe most.
Yeah, I don't think I stacked this game up just looking at this game. I like the Cardinals, the righties, a lot. And then I like the Mets as kind of a low-owned stack, the lefties from the Mets side. So looking at the Cardinals, just because when you pull up Manaea's numbers over the last 30 days, striking out just right on 17 to 18% of right-handed hitters, has a walk rate north of 15% as well. So he struggles with controls to right-handed, struggles with a lot of fly balls and some power there. So fly balls, I mean, Wilson Contreras is one of my favorite bats on the slate. He is expensive at the catcher position, but absolutely locked in right now at the plate. Goldschmidt, Arenado, I really like that 3-man stack there. If you can get to them as a mini stack, you get a nice cheap Ivan Herrera there as a righty, 3,200. I think this Cardinals lineup is going to have 7 righties in it, right in there. So any of the righties for me, Mason Wynn, a solid punt at the shortstop position at 3,100. You should have Jose Furman there as a nice value bat there at third base at basically still in minimum price. So I don't hate some of these Cardinals against Manaea. He's got terrible numbers against righties in particular. So focus on the righties there. Obviously, Contreras is my favorite guy, followed by Goldschmidt, Arenado. And then on the Mets, I like some of these lefties here. Brandon Nimmo, Lindor, Brett Beatty, McNeil. I think all of those guys are in play, just approaching or attacking those splits of Kyle Gibson there. So for me, both these teams fall into stack and mini stack categories, just due to picking on the splits of Kyle Gibson. Looking at the lefty, strikes out right around 19% of left-handed hitters so far over the last 30 days. Struggles with ISO, struggles with power from lefties and fly balls. So give me some of those lefties from the Mets. And I think both sides of this game are pretty interesting because when you look at the slate in general, we don't have a lot of hitters parks here. It's a lot of pitchers parks outside of obviously Kauffman Stadium there. So really, I'm not putting a huge advantage into the pitchers ballparks and not stacking offenses. Just the nature of the slate. We don't have a Coors Field on the slate, right? We don't have Cincinnati. We don't have a lot of those parks on the slate. So you got to just kind of pick and choose your spots. I'm going to attack two pitchers that I think are definitely attackable here with the splits guys in the lineups here. Let's jump to the next game here, and it's the Texas Rangers heading into Oakland. Usually a park you don't like to play offense too much in, but arguably the worst pitcher on the slate here so far this season has been Alex Wood here for the Athletics. Any Rangers interest in you? Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia and company there for the Rangers. And then Andrew Heaney coming in as probably one of the top three chalkiest pitchers on the slate, north of 30%, I would assume, at his 6,600 price point. Talked about liking Oakland. I like me some Oakland bats here. I already alluded to some of the guys that I like, but I think this is a spot where I'm going to get different. I'm fading Heaney. I like some of these Oakland bats against Andrew Heaney. Are you with me here?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I think the Rangers – I actually think the Rangers come in as the highest owned stack tonight. Just based on you said, I mean, Alex Wood, oh my gosh, just absolutely terrible pitcher. Yeah, I mean, you got Semien, you have Garcia, you have Corey Seager. I know he's a lefty, but you got all this righty power. Then you bring in this bullpen. I think the Rangers come in the highest owned because you're not going to be able to fit in, those Dodgers. They're super expensive. If you're getting Castillo, if you're getting Reagans in there, you're going to need somebody like this Rangers team. So that's why I think the Rangers come in as the highest owned stack. Hey, and rightfully so. They've disappointed, if you will, especially over the weekend against Kansas City. They played, Daniel Lynch yesterday, I think is his name, and just got absolutely shredded. He was striking out, I think, 6 batters in his return to the bigs. But hey, this Rangers team can pop off. I would actually like the guys lower in the order, the Jonah Himes, the Josh Smiths, the Tavareses, who's a switch hitter, and then your boy Zeke Duran, who last year printed money for you. I don't know if you remember that, but Zeke Duran was amazing, especially against lefties. I would want the lower half guys just to get a little bit different. And then on the other side, I think those A's are going to be super sneaky. You talked about Ruiz, who we like over here. Our projections really like him. Rooker, Langeliers. They got a ton of power. JD Davis better get to Heaney early. He'll probably get subbed out. But, yeah, I don't think it's the craziest thing to go A's on the on the flip side of that Ranger stack. What's your thoughts on the Rangers? Do you think they'll be popular as well?
Yeah, just looking at ownership standpoint right now, it looks like the Dodgers are clear cut away, the chalk of the slate, just far and away, higher than anyone else. Then it's kind of a mix between the Mariners, which is kind of surprising. That's why I have a boost to Woods Richardson a little bit, especially off the Heaney chalk. It's definitely double leverage there against the field if the Seattle Bats are going to be picking up ownership like it seems. Kansas City, the Mets, and the Padres are kind of what it looks like. Texas is sitting right around the same ownership as Oakland. It's just due to this park, right? People just don't like playing offenses in Oakland for a good reason. It is a pitcher's ballpark, but it's just the nature of slate. Outside of Kauffman Stadium, we really don't have good hitting parks on the slate at all, right? So I'm kind of throwing that out the window, and I think the field is sleeping a little bit on that. I actually love this game, both sides. I think the Rangers are absolutely elite. I mean, looking at the numbers against Alex Wood, he's been absolutely horrendous, especially over the last month. 17% strikeout rate, ISO north of 250, fly ball rate approaching 30%, sub 40% ground ball rate. I mean, that just alludes to disaster when you're facing this Texas lineup. That 1 through 9, I think, are all in play. I really like Leody Taveras there, 3,100. I think he's an elite value play. My guy Zeke Duran, how could I not forget about him, right? From last season, he made me a ton of money. He's dual position eligible at 2,700. I really like the wraparound stacks, but my two favorite Rangers bats, definitely Marcus Semien, definitely Adolis Garcia, mixing the other guys, lefties like Corey Seager, that should be lower owned against Wood. Nate Lowe should be lower owned against a lefty-lefty. I don't expect Wood to be in there long. And then you get this subpar Oakland bullpen behind him. And then on the other end, right, Andrew Heaney chalk outside of Texas against this Oakland offense that's hitting the baseball pretty well. Tons of power. I mean, this team against left-handed pitching at home this season is a 264 ISO. That's the highest on the slate of any team here. I get it. It's a gross offense, but I like the top 7 hitters or the top 6 hitters: Ruiz, Nevin, Toro, Rooker, Davis, and Langeliers. Max Schumann's a solid value at second base there. Probably a good pivot off of my boy Michael Massey there at the same position in terms of the nature of the slate. I like Max Schumann there if you're looking for a pivot there. Don't really have a ton of interest in guys like Brett Harris or this Daryl Hernandez guy, however you pronounce his name there. So I like both sides of this game. I think this is the game that I'm going to, especially for secondary stacks, really like the Royals, and then really like these Oakland bats as a mini stack to compensate some of those other positions that I don't want to play some of these Royals bats. Brent Rooker, my favorite guy in this game by far as well. Let's talk about the last game of the slate here. It's the Dodgers against Munoz, who are implied to score right around 6 runs. Clear cut to chalk of the slate, probably about 4 or 5% total stack ownership higher than anybody else on this slate. You alluded to it. It is tough to afford these Dodgers bats with the top end pitching, Castillo, with the Reagans pairing. But you're going to look at guys like Kiki Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, and Andy Pages, who are going to have a ton of ownership, especially Max Muncy as well, because those guys are the most affordable in this lineup. I really like these lefties for the Dodgers, but in terms of a total stack, I'm going to be a little bit underweight on the Dodgers offense. Munoz ranks decent in our pitcher rankings over here, and I'm already eating the chalk at pitcher that I don't want to do double chalk. That's just not the way that I build MLB lineups. It's worked for me so far this season. I want you to talk about this one, the Dodgers. Are you playing them? How are you going to play them? And how are you looking at getting different if you are going to be stacking up these Dodgers?
Yeah, we saw it the other night. I think it was the B night, Nades. I think it was the B night when those Bees were in Arizona. And I think it was a 6-game slate, 5 or 6 game slate. And who was the winner, right? The Dodgers were the winner. But it was the Pages. It was the Rojases. It was the Kiki Hernandezes, right? I think it was the 6, 7, and 8 is what got you there, is what you needed. All the offense is busted. The Dodgers put up like 10 runs against Jordan Montgomery, and it all came, or a majority of them came from down there at the bottom. So, hey, they got there. We say it all the time. They pitch hit a lot, but hey, for whatever reason, that night they didn't pitch hit. So you got to, in my opinion, it's tough to stack the Dodgers because when you stack the Dodgers 1 through 4, you're sacrificing pitching. You got to mix and match some of those lower tier guys, the Miguel Rojas's, the Kiki Hernandez's. And when they get there, which they're going to do often, it's going to pay off. So if you're stacking Dodgers, I would maybe go 2 of the, 1 through 4. Then I would get some of those lower pieces in there. I mean, this Pages guy, goodness gracious, I feel like he hits a home run every night. So I definitely like the Dodgers. They're squarely in play. And then no Marlins for me. Like I said, they traded Arise, their best hitter, Walker Buehler. I don't have any concern about his pitch count just based off what he's done so far. He can strike out 8 of them in 5 innings on 75 pitches. So I definitely like Walker Buehler only on FanDuel. I wouldn't play him on DK. He's got a much better price over on FanDuel. I think it's like 8,300 or something. And he's almost 10K or 9.5 or something on DK. But yeah, more of a I know we're not talking pitching, but yeah. So Dodgers, yes, no Marlins for me, and I would get somebody in the 6 through 9, at least 2 of the members 6 through 9 once that Dodgers lineup comes out. Yeah.
No, excellent breakdown. No Marlins for me. The only Marlin I would have interest in is maybe a Jake Berger, just because, again, maybe I just have a soft spot in the heart for him, but dual position eligible, 4,200. He's got a ton of power. You know that. He can hit it out of pretty much any ballpark there. So just him, maybe. For Dodgers, for me, I love these lefties, Ohtani, Freeman, and Max Muncy. I like those 3 as a mini stack if you can afford it. Just looking at the splits so far, Munoz obviously very, very short sample size that we have on him. But in the 12 plate appearances we've seen this year from lefties, opposing lefties are hitting for a 364 ISO and fly ball rate of 50%. So give me some of those lefties as one-offs. In terms of full stacks, it's hard for me to full stack this Dodgers team. Just like I said already, they're going to be the chalk. I already like the chalk pitching It's just not how I build teams. So if the Dodgers beat me, they beat me. Very well could be one of the best offenses in baseball. But for me tonight, it's mini stacks and one-offs only for me for the Dodgers, preferably the lefties. Really like Max Muncy, really like Freeman, really like Ohtani. Ohtani, probably my favorite bat overall on the entire slate, all things considered. He is the most expensive at $6,500, but you know what Ohtani can do? One of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best athletes in the land as well. That's all 6 games. Talked pitching, talked hitting, broke it down well for the people. How much? Throw it over to you, man. Home run call of the evening. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go a little non-conventional, right? You got because I'm gonna pick a home run off of my favorite pitcher. I'm gonna go Minnesota. I'm gonna go Eduardo, however you say his name, Julian for the Twins. I butchered his name, but he won't butcher me tonight. I like him to go yard against Castillo. I'll be having him as a one-off in my non-Castillo lineups for sure. I like Julian to go deep tonight.
No, excellent breakdown there. I'm going to the famous Oakland Athletics, the Chalk Busters all season long. They've been getting to these chalk pitchers. Now they see Andrew Heaney here in Oakland. Give me my favorite hitter on the slate, salary considered, $4,000. Brent Rooker hitting in the cleanup spot here likely tonight. Really like him. And I'm going to give you a bonus on the same team, a little mini stack. Tyler Nevin. They can't go back-to-back because they're probably going to hit 2 and 4 here tonight, but they're going to skip it. Toro's going to be on. Rooker's going to hit a 2-run Jimmy Jack after my guy Tyler Nevin hits a bomb. So I'm going to 2-pack combo here from the Athletics. Nice mini stack there against the Chalk. In good spots. They're seeing the baseball well. I like both of those guys, both very affordable in stacks as well. That's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Witching Hour here, brought to you by SHIPIT Nation. If you guys haven't seen yet, May 15th, 1-year anniversary here over at the Nation. Last chance to lock in 15% off of the 6-month or the annual package. That will not be an option after we do turn 1 here. Get in now. This annual package with that promo code drops it down to $42 a month. $509 comes out to $42 a month roughly. No better time to join than now. NFL right around the corner. Obviously, we're in the heart of MLB season here. NBA playoffs still rolling. NHL playoffs, we got you covered. And obviously the full swing PGA in session with the crew over here at the Nation. So promo code BDAY15 gets you 15% off any package you do choose for life. On the 15th, those annual packages and 6-month are going up in price. It's posted on the website already. So get locked in now. Check out our Shiptimizer, which is live on the site, free for current members right now for the time being in this beta testing phase. Get your comments in the Discord for any suggestions that you have there. But appreciate everyone watching here. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Let's ship it.